Hey, so I was struggling to come up with a topic for today, but I wanted to talk about mental illness and culture. Um, Specifically psychosis, schizophrenia, and whatnot. So, schizophrenia is characterized by psychosis, hallucinations, delusions of grandeur, um, uh, things that contradict reality or are not held by others. Um, and on occasion, these hallucinations and delusions can align with reality. Uh, but we're going to get to that in a minute. First off, what is psychosis? Psychosis is a symptom of mental illness that is characterized by, as I already said, hallucinations, delusions of grandeur, uh, loss of touch with reality, really. Um, a loss of touch with direct reality, anyway. Because as we will get into in a bit, that may not necessarily be the case. Um, Now, what it is caused by, there are different theories as to what psychosis is caused by. One is the dopamine theory, one is the serotonin theory, there's a GABA theory, and there's also a glutamate theory. And there's a new theory that I've seen that has to do with glucose and the thalamus. And this is a very compelling theory that I want to look into more for myself. Um, so, uh, the interesting thing about psychosis, especially in schizophrenics, a lot of the hallucinations will be very negative, at least in first world countries, or in most Western countries, anyway. The hallucinations will be very negative, and the delusions of grandeur will often be very negative as well. Conspiracies, they'll center around conspiracies to destroy the person or ruin their lives or make their lives worse, or they will center around you know, this person has delusions of grandeur. They are somehow very important, but other people are keeping them down. Um, that is generally the way that the delusions work. The hallucinations, often voices will be very negative. They will speak negatively to these people and be very overwhelming to the person. Now, the interesting thing, and this is where culture comes in in other cultures, like third world countries, and some first world countries that are have different cultures that are more positive. Uh, the hallucinations of schizophrenics are actually more positive. They're generally friendlier. They don't suffer so much as they just hear friendly voices or see friendly things. So this does indicate that there is a cultural element to these hallucinations. Um, Now, there are many videos that I have seen talking about how schizophrenia in other cultures is treated differently than in our culture. In our culture, we tend to demonize the mental illness, whereas in many cultures, these people would be shamans. They would be treated with very high regard because of their ability to see outside of the mundane reality. And one thing that this necessitates is that, if you are going to be a shaman, you need to get things right some of the time. So this necessarily means that in these instances where these people suffering from hallucinations become shamans, they are in fact seeing things that, or hearing things that inform them about the people around them in ways that cannot be explained by modern science. These videos that I have seen have discussed how schizophrenia essentially bends reality, or schizophrenics see through the reality, or see outside of the reality, or around the reality. And this is a possibility. And I have had some experiences where people who are very clearly mentally ill knew who I was and knew things about me that, well, some of the things weren't true, but they knew things about me. And these people, there was one time I was sitting at a cafe having a meeting with a member of a Facebook page, and this guy who's clearly whacked out of his gourd came up to me and was like, "Hey, you're this person," and I was like, "Yeah, that's my name. How did you know my name?" Uh, and he was like, "Oh, you have 2 kids." I was like, "I don't have any kids, no. Uh, but that is my name. I don't know how you know my name." um, so there are, in fact, instances where the mentally ill are able to see beyond the present reality. Um, and this could be related to, there's actually a guy who has been scientifically tested and found to be legitimate. This guy is able to wake himself up in the middle of REM sleep and write down what he sees in his dreams. And when he does this, he is actually able to predict the future. And he has been scientifically tested. They have found that he is able to do this. I believe he was British, however. And the interesting thing about this guy is that he was investigated for terrorism because he around several different events, he called the place that was being attacked and told them, "Hey, get ready for an attack because this is what's going to happen." And instead of believing that he had psychic abilities, they believed that he was somehow involved with terrorism. But since then, they have actually videotaped him in his sleep with sensors on him, so they know he's in REM sleep, and they know that he is coming out of REM sleep, writing down and drawing what he sees. So that is one instance. So we know that there are things that are not explainable by our current science. And as I have described before, I don't believe that consciousness is fully material. So perhaps schizophrenia is a detachment of the consciousness. Uh, the immaterial aspect of the consciousness is moving beyond the body. That uh, that may be what is happening. Um, Now, uh, back to the cultured part of it. Um, it is interesting to note that the difference between the cultures. People with schizophrenia in the U.S. will have very negative hallucinations. People with schizophrenia in, like, Sweden will have very positive hallucinations, and that does speak to the different cultures. But if we're talking about these psychic abilities that come from it, um, you know, it could be particularly because of the ethos. The ethos of the immaterial realm is different in these different regions. This is just a thought that I've had. Uh, it Because of the cultural difference, the spiritual realm in that region, the locality, is different because of the culture. That is one possibility. It could just be that it's totally cultural. Could just be that we put so much pressure on people in the United States, and other countries don't put as much pressure on people, and so they don't suffer as much. Um, Now the thing is, uh, there has to be a material aspect of it as well, because as I've stated, there are these different theories of psychosis, and we have different medications that block the receptors for these chemicals. And they do actually actively stop the hallucinations. Well, at least in most cases. In some cases, they do not. In some cases, they are completely ineffective. Um, so I don't know what the point of this really was. I think just to explore the idea of psychic abilities and mental illness, and maybe the relation of culture. Uh, I do believe we need to be investigating mental illness differently, because right now we just seek to shut down the mental illness as much as possible. Whereas we could be using mental illness to our advantage. We could be looking into the immaterial aspects of consciousness. We could be looking into the uh, alternative thinking styles that these mentally ill people provide. And that would increase neurodiversity. That would also increase chaos in the system. That would also increase our ability to problem solve. Thank you for watching. Peace.